I am here again for 10 at 10, all dressed in red, because this week is Valentine's week. Puppy Heart, love you. How exciting has this last week been? OMG, I am over the moon over all the amazing content and conversations that have been going on. Are you ready for another great lesson on 10 at 10? Here we go. This week's lesson is called the furniture close. I'm going to show you a strategy of establishing ownership with a second person presentation. Now, the most important reason why we want to have a fabulous interview, which is what we talked about last week, is because we want to get their story. If you're note taking, write down, get their story. The interview is all about getting their story. You know why? Because if I don't have their story, guess what? I'd tell mine. And they're much more interested in their story than they are my story. How many times have you been telling a story and their story made you think of your story and you just couldn't wait for them to shut up so you could tell your story because you're like #not listening? So here's the deal. We want to tell their story. When we have great interview questions and we get theirs, we get to give them ownership of the property in the way we describe it. And it's very simple to identify whether you've been successful with that. It's your personal pronouns. First person personal pronouns are I, we, me, us, me, I, ours. Let me show you what that sounds like. Let me tell you what we have that's ours that we really love, that we think is fantastic, and I live here and I love it, and our management company is wonderful. And we have so many wonderful things that we want you to see that are ours, and at the end we say, would you like it? And they say, no, you keep it, it's yours. And you're like, but I wanted you to have it. And they're like, you know, that's too bad because I was looking for one for me. See, second person is you and yours. And in Texas, y'all. And you guys in New Jersey, I think. But here's the thing. Once you have someone's story, you're able to say, let me show you your new home. Let me talk to you. It's about not showing a picture of the property. If you've ever heard people talk about painting pictures with your words, yeah, but put them in it first. You have to put them in the picture. First you talk about their stuff, then you talk about yours. First they go into the apartment, you talk all about their stuff. So why do you need to talk about furniture? Because pretty much, my friends, that's what they're fitting in there. When people drive out to a community for that final look at the property and to go up to that apartment, I like to call that the dressing room moment. Because this is where they see if it fits. They are going into that apartment. They've watched the virtual tour online. You know, they've seen everything that we can do digitally. But they want to physically go in there. And what they're seeing fits is the furniture. Big shout out to Ann Sadowski. I love you, Ann Sadowski. #my mentor. And Ann taught me when I was a leasing agent that what you need to do is place people's furniture in the apartment. And she told me if you can get them to place their furniture, they get ownership of it. And ownership is what happens when someone decides this is mine. That magic moment. So furniture really is a powerful part of the close. That's why we talk about it in the interview. We find out what furniture, furnished or unfurnished. And then when it comes to going physically into the apartment, we want to know about specific things that they have and own so we can make sure we can place them. Now, the floor plan is probably the most powerful tool that we have in property management in terms of marketing. The floor plan is the most downloaded, it's the most clicked, it's the most opened, it's the most printed. It's one of the most valuable tools that you have. I recommend a one sheet for your floor plans. I don't like to see floor plans small, like on one brochure. I like to have a whole one sheet. And so if you're getting competitive, then it's easy to just take your floor plan and create a simple one sheet with information on both sides. So I use the floor plan when I go up to the apartment and I handwrite reference points on it as a memory association. So the floor plan literally becomes one of the biggest tools that I use. Before I get inside the apartment, I stop them at the door and I say, look, I really want to make sure this apartment is going to fit. all of your things. So let's go room by room and set it up and check it off. I've got a tape measure and a list of furniture sizes, and we can make some notes on the floor plan. I kind of, before I open that door, or I let them open that door, I like to have a quick conversation with them, get them together and make sure they stay with me. Another tip from Tammy Sirik. And then we go in together with that goal in mind. They're going to go into the apartment. We're going to set up each room so it's put them in the picture and then show the picture. So we walk into the first room. Often that kind of goes into a great room area. Some of you have a foyer. A small area with tiles with a closet, call that a foyer. Some have a small hallway. You know, make sure you're talking about all the great things. But when you get in there, ask them what they're going to do with it. How are you going to use this space? One of my favorite things to do is to come up with a 10-point story. So I make up a story about me and who's moving in with me and where I'm working, and I put the 10-point story together, and I include some furniture and some things that I own and how I'm going to set the apartment up and what I'm looking for. And then I go out and I shop the market. And I judge people not by what they do. I judge them by how many points of my story they actually get. The story that I used to tell was a story about my dad coming and staying with me for the furniture markets because he had a clock store. And so I got a second bedroom. But when they asked me who the apartment was for, I said myself. And then I said, but I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And then they wouldn't even ask me. And I can't even tell you how many times we would walk into the second bedroom and the leasing agent would say, well, you could use this room for a guest room. You could make it an office. You could turn it into a gymnasium. They went on and on about all these suggestions when what they should have done is got my story and found out that my father's name is Buddy. He's Pastor Buddy now. And that I love him with all my heart. And that his visits were I got a second bedroom just for my dad. What a heart part of my story they would have had if they'd have known. So don't go into an apartment and put your story and your ideas on things. Take that moment. Ask, interview, great questions, find out how they're going to use the space. And then when you walk into it, you'll be able to say then, okay, how are we going to set this up? Where it's going to go where? I've got a tape measure. I've got furniture sizes. One of the things I like to do when I get in there is to find the cable connection. Because if I can find the cable connection, most people have a television, so we can start with the TV, you know, so cable's over there, where are you going to put your television, sofa. We start setting up their furniture literally in the room. And then I have the magic words. Are you ready? It's not open sesame. It's not kumbaya. It's that'll work, won't it? Now write that down. That will work, won't it? That'll work, won't it? Turn to someone in your office right now and say, that'll work, won't it? In fact, say it a couple times. That'll work, won't it? That'll work, won't it? That'll work, won't it? Here's the cool thing about that'll work, won't it, okay? Is that it doesn't require a perfect fit. And we're never going to have a perfect fit. And so when you talk to people about that'll work, won't it? Well, you know, I do smell a little something in here, but we can fix that. That'll work, won't it? I might have to take one of your nightstands and put it into the closet to give you extra storage space in the closet, but that'll work, won't it? Every time I go to set up things, I say, that'll work, won't it? And then I'm going to use my red pen for Court Furniture Rentals. And what I like to do is when I say to people, after we set everything up in the room, I say, that'll work, won't it? They say yes. As the words yes come out of their mouth, I write the word yes into that room, and then I check it off. And it's so funny because people will see you do it and they're like, what are you doing? And you know how people are control freaks? They're like, oh, okay. They'll literally go in and check a room off and they'll holler at you, check off the master bedroom. Okay, yes. Check off the master bath. And then you'll be checking things off and making a list and checking twice. Then what you have is a memory association. So I have that totally works. I have yes and a check mark, and then I use my face sticker. You can order from myfacesticker.com, give them the promotion code Totally Tony and get 10% off. But I love to add my face to it. So now when they go home, they have a floor plan that says it totally works. Each room has been checked off. It gives you an opportunity to overcome the objections that are going on while you're in the room that you need to figure out a solution for. And it works so fantastic because I think the whole reason that people go up to that apartment is to see if it'll work. And when the language is used, that'll work, won't it? That'll work, won't it? That'll work, won't it? The final decision that they have is, wow, you know what? This apartment works for me. And with all the empty, blank floor plans that they go home with, your floor plan is going to have a yes and amen in every room. A simple, easy, find a marker that even works with your floor plan. There are silver metallic if you have dark paper. There's copper, black. You can get gold. You can get whatever color matches. Make sure it kind of coordinates with your collateral material. So that'll work, won't it? The furniture clothes. Yes and amen in every room. Make sure we put them in the picture, and then we say all the great things that are about our apartment in addition to that. So put them in the picture first. This, oh my gosh, this time goes so fast. This has been another edition of 10 at 10. That'll work, won't it?